chapter clicked in to College Volleyball Weekly on Viral Volley Media. Now here's your host, Rob on mic. Hey, good day, everyone, and welcome to College Volleyball Weekly Beach Top 20 now. And while we're just a few days out of the start of the season, on screen with me is a longtime athlete I've been following just because she wins so much no matter what surface she's on. That's Jaden Whitmarsh of UCLA Beach, who is our fourth and final contributor. We're calling this the Just Jaden episode because everyone else was on last week. And I wanted to be sure that all of you, our faithful listeners and viewers, could meet all the new people. This is, as I've mentioned in the previous episode, this is the fourth year doing this. This is the first time I've had an entirely new group of contributors, but I'm totally blessed and honored to have Jaden, as well as Kylie and Allie, and of course Kelly. And it just works out perfect because they're all intertwined some way or another. So Jaden, thanks for coming on board this season in your graduate year season.
I could not be more excited, Rob. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I think it's so cool because I mentioned the other episode, I started doing this with collegiate beach athletes because I knew there's some out there who are interested in pursuing careers in broadcast or other sports management type of careers, social, sports marketing. And of course, you are interested on more of the broadcast side. So I'm like, let's do Jaden here. And you were one of the first I asked to come on board. So, and with that, you bring so much experience. So I'm going to start with, how did you get into volleyball? And then how did that go into beach volleyball?
Oh, yes. It goes back way back. I started beach volleyball because my dad played professionally. And I have like very vivid memories being like just an infant, basically, like rolling on the sand at AVP tournaments. And I remember just watching my dad, and I also just remember just the kind of love that he had for the game. And that's what got me into starting volleyball. I played both indoor and beach. And I also played soccer too. So I had kind of all three sports that I really loved. And I loved the connections I made with my friends growing up. It was honestly the biggest blessing. But yeah, I was on both indoor and beach teams throughout middle school, high school, and I ultimately made the decision that I wanted to play beach, just beach in college, to give all my love and passion back to playing for my dad. And I think that was the best decision for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is crazy is the area you come from and the high school you went to is a volleyball powerhouse. And we've seen some really big names. And I think you kind of were the pioneer that really got that going, because I'm not going to reveal your age, but you're a little older than the other girls, Megan Craft and Delaney Maple, but it was you on the Torrey Pines Falcons team that was in as we were talking earlier, in that CIF state regional final, 5-setter against Mater Dei that unfortunately ended up dropping. But I'm like, who's this blonde haired, outside hitter flying all over the place, digging every single ball and putting it away? It was you.
Oh,
So
wow.
you've got an indoor game as well as a beach game.
Yeah, you know what? I actually really loved indoor, and I was really contemplating playing both. I actually would probably be more of a libero type role, at the next level. But I really loved indoor, and I loved my teammates. I loved the team aspect of indoor, and so that was hard leaving that. And I definitely got some really good experience playing for, a powerhouse high school. I was in Torrey Pines. And also WAVE Volleyball Club. I played for WAVE for, I don't know, 10 years. So yeah, indoor will always have a piece of my heart.
Well, I mean, you've got a great coach there. I'm not saying that because I know that he listens too, but Brennan Dean is a good guy to be playing for. That's for sure.
Oh, I love Brennan. Honestly, all those coaches, Rachel, Kev, like there's so many, the list goes on and on. It is true. There's a WAVE family, definitely. And I always feel a part of that when I go back there.
Well, Wave and Torrey Pines generates so many D1 players that go all around across the country and on different surfaces too. So, just look it up. You'll start seeing the names like, oh gosh, I had no idea. And it continues even today. If you look at their social, all the D1 commits and both beach and indoor, which is amazing. Um,
Definitely.
one of the things we mentioned earlier is your connection to volleyball and your dad. And just recently was the anniversary of his passing. And he was a silver medalist in the 96 Olympics in Atlanta, which was the first Olympics that had beach volleyball. But he was a pioneer. He was basically a two-sport athlete. And we joked about, oh, he's a basketball player converted to a beach volleyball player. But I knew he was a natural athlete. It doesn't surprise me that some of those skills have translated into what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, when I play beach volleyball, like my favorite thing is that I have that connection to him forever. And I also, my little sister is at ASU this year as a sophomore, and she also plays beach volleyball and she absolutely loves it. And I think for me, my favorite part is just like the connections that I have made throughout the beach volleyball journey. And also the people that knew him. Like my favorite thing is when I'm playing and a ref will be like, oh, Whitty, like, I know who you are. I know your dad, like Whitmarsh, that sounds familiar. Or like just anyone on, social media, they'll swipe up and just I've heard some incredible stories from people that I don't even know, that just know him or knew him so well. And they can see that through me. So that makes me feel really special and honored to be at Whitmarsh.
Well, I don't know if I shared this story with you, but I believe it was the first Pac-12 beach championships after we've reopened from the lockdowns and from COVID.
Mhm.
And it wasn't being broadcast, and there were no spectators because it was still pretty new. But Dieter was texting me, "What's going on in Whitmarsh's court? What's going?"
Oh my gosh, Skeeter is literally the best person ever. Yeah, can't say enough great things about that guy. He's just always been in my corner, and yeah, he is just an hilarious human being.
Well, what's amazing is that was such an amazing final. It was 2-2 against USC, coming down to your court, which was the threes court. I believe you're with Riley Powers.
We're fives.
Yeah, that was a fives. Oh, okay, so it's 1-3-5s. Because if you're
Yeah.
familiar with the courts at Mapes, it's 1-3-5s go. So yeah, that's right, closest to pool. So
Mhm.
I remember seeing that match go down for the decisive point and the Pac-12 championship. But and you have always been in the clutch situations, and you've been. I deem you as Miss Clutch. Between you and Devin Newberry, it's like
Oh,
you need a point. Look to their court.
oh, it's very kind of you. I know we've talked about this before. I'm like, okay, this is like my final year. Like I'm going to give this responsibility to someone else. Like it's happened so many times. I mean, it's honestly pretty funny. And I mean, I do feel like I can handle pressure pretty well. But yeah, it is a lot of pressure, especially to have the duel come down to your court. Like you just like that energy and like everything goes into it, and it all comes down to one moment. And so anyway, I would like someone else to step up, please.
You just don't get rattled though. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, if you're not familiar with watching a live collegiate beach duel, when it gets in that last court, you got the entire teams coming over, rooting you on. You got the fans, all eyes on your court, and
Yeah,
every single play is intense. And that's what I love about those duels.
I know they are. Hey, they're really fun to watch. I'm glad everyone gets to watch them. And when I am a spectator watching duels like that, honestly, there's nothing more exciting. And I think that's what's so special about beach volleyball, collegiate beach volleyball, is that, like how much goes into it. And then it can just
Mhm.
come down to one court. And it's not always the ones. It can come down to the fives court. So everyone's important, everyone's equal. And yeah, it's just I just love it.
Well, UCLA is fortunate to have you back again this year, but you have a new coach at the helm, kind of new coach, Triple J, whom is known and loved by many, if not all. Um, is there going to be a lot of change from, what Stein had established? Is it different in any way for you? I mean, being that she's been on staff for the entire time you've been there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to come back and use my last year of eligibility is to see Jenny in her head coaching era. I mean, she was an amazing assistant coach and then amazing associate head coach. But I was just really excited to see her in her light, and she is such a great leader. So yeah, just getting to see her like show that and demonstrate what a good leader is just an amazing thing to watch. And then especially getting to have Jose Loyola and Kelly Reeves as our assistant coaches is just, they're a great combination. And honestly, we get so much done at practice, but we also know how to have a good time, and we're learning so much from all three of them. And they all
Yeah.
bring something to the table, which I think is really special. So
That's a good crew over there at UCLA. So it's actually a great, well, no, actually I wanted to go into your summer here because it looked like you and a few other gals, well, you particularly with Devin Newberry, were going the AVP route over the summer, but you have aspirations to play professionally?
yeah, I do. It's so funny. I was just saying to, I don't know, I think it probably was Devin, just like how things can change so instantly. Like last season, I thought that was going to be like the last time I played volleyball. And then Devin reaches out to me like a week after like our banquet and was like, "Hey, would you want to just like maybe play in this like CBVA tournament and like maybe qualify?" So, it just went down, a rabbit hole, and we were just having so much fun just getting to play with each other. And like I feel like a lot of times throughout like college, it's your coaches are the ones that set you up and partner you up with people who you think will be best. But Devin and I genuinely like loved playing together. And so we just had like such a fun time over the summer playing in these high level AVP tournaments, and getting to compete and kind of test our skills. And yeah, so last summer was truly amazing. And yeah, we're looking forward to playing again this summer together. Yeah, the AVP schedule was just announced, so it's been fun getting to look and see what the new situation is and everything. So we're
Win
excited.
some extra change while you're at it too.
Yeah.
Well, it's been cool following the what you were doing the AVP, especially with I mean, so many collegiate beach girls are competing at the highest levels and they're really shaking things up. Obviously you've got Kristen Nuss and Taryn Cloth coming out of LSU, but if you look at who's coming through the qualifiers, it's all these current collegiate beach stars that are toppling some top players.
I know, it's actually the craziest thing to see, and it's so good to see. I mean, like honestly, it just shows the level of college beach volleyball right now. Like it is only getting better throughout the years, and to see people who we play cross the net like all the time, like FSU, USC, and then just see them at these AVP tournaments. It's cool to kind of be like the underdogs all together, which I think is pretty special. But yeah, it's great to see, and it's only getting better. So
Well, you've been getting a lot of attention. I've seen that you've jumped on the Sandcast with Trav and Troy.
I
with
did,
with
yeah.
your gals, the group of Lexi and Riley and Devin.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we did, and honestly, we love talking to Travis. Travis is amazing, and it's just fun to just kind of like reminisce on our last years at UCLA and coming into our last season, like what that means to us. So it was fun getting to talk to him about all that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's go into what's coming up here in 2024. We're just a few days out of the first serve happening. Obviously, you're heading out to Hawaii, suffering for the people of UCLA in the 75-degree sun and warm, but while we're dealing with rain and storm watches and atmospheric rivers, but it's going to be exciting nonetheless. But I wanted to get your thoughts on who are the top teams to watch from the athlete perspective, which is what I bounced off the other girls in the non-Jaden, the non-just Jaden episodes.
Oh my gosh. This season is, I feel like we say this each year, but this season's just going to be unlike any season. I mean, there are so many teams to look out for. Obviously, USC has a lot of grad transfers, so their team's looking really good. FSU's looking really good. They have a pretty experienced team. And then there's also teams like Stanford and Cal.
Mhm.
Um, I think Stanford has a lot of great young incoming freshmen that are potentially going to make the starting lineup that are going to make a huge impact on their team. As well as Cal. I feel like Cal is going to be a sneaky great team. They always are, they always show up. So those are my main teams, I think, right now.
Well, I know that we've talked that you're doing an internship with collegebeachvb.com, which is a great resource, by the way. Encourage anyone get the account on there. Mike and his crew do a great job of updating the information, getting stories, results, ratings, rankings, all from JUCO all the way to D1. So, and it breaks it down. You can everything's hyperlinked. So if you were to look up Jaden, see what she's doing, it'll show all her matches, who she's played with, her record at each of those spots. I mean, it's phenomenal. But I'm not getting a cut from it, but I'm honestly saying it's a great resource. And I would never ask for a cut from Mike. He works way too hard. But
Oh my
uh,
God.
some of the freshmen that you alluded to, Stanford has Brooke Rockwell and Clara Stowell, and I've been seeing their names all through the juniors the last few years, medaling. They're on the podium in one form or another. Um, Great talent. They can do both. They can block and defend. And the talent is getting younger and younger and better, and with a larger volley IQ.
Totally.
Um,
Yeah, for sure. I know. I was thinking our playing in the preseason tournaments was where we got to kind of see these freshmen. A lot of freshmen were paired with upperclassmen to kind of see how they do, and it was truly amazing. Like getting to see the freshmen come to life and wear their jerseys and be a part of the team. And I just remember thinking, like, who are these girls? Like, I mean, obviously they're so much younger than me, but they're truly amazing athletes. And I think, yeah, like you said, it's only getting better. So, yeah.
well, one of the other teams you mentioned was Florida State, and in the other episode with the other gals, I forgot to list what I thought would be a breakout player, and it's Anna Long of Florida State. And you'd mentioned Florida State, and they've got some transfers as well. But what do you know about Florida State? Because they're usually one of the top three teams coming out of the CCSA, or
Yeah.
they didn't switch this year. I know there's been a conference switch, so
Don't ask me about that because I am so far removed from that kind of stuff. But FSU, I think, like you said, is always a powerhouse beach volleyball school. I mean, Brooke Niles and just such a good job with them. But I do think that, well, one of my main players I thought to look at was Maddie Anderson. She's been on the ones now for a few years, and
Mhm.
she, like we were saying before, she was one of the athletes that were competing on the AVP, and
Yep.
she is just amazing too. I love watching her, and competing against her is not very fun, but I think just with her on the ones, and then Anna Long, like you mentioned, she's an amazing player. They have Allie Hansen, obviously. And yeah, the list goes on and on. They have a great, great, great team.
I got to ask you, being that you're the more seasoned vet on the Bruin crew, indoors, people study film on the teams and they learn tendencies, but you don't have that benefit in beach because you're not on volleymetrics, and you got to rely on the goodwill of other teams if they're even willing to share their video. But
Mhm.
you've had enough experience playing against other players. How do you prepare in these duels against people that you've never played against?
Yeah, I mean, each year we add an emphasis on watching video and watching film. So for example, we'll go out to Hawaii this weekend. We'll film all the games, and we'll watch ourselves, but we'll also watch our opponents. And for, for playing teams that you don't know much about, I mean, you can't really do anything about that. You kind of just have to work on your side and then pick up tendencies as you play on. But yeah, UCLA has always done a really good job at scouting. We'll stay after and watch with our own eyes. We, be there in person, and we'll take notes, and we treat it as a job, because it really is to us. So.
Well, I mean, obviously always in UCLA's mind is the natty, and it's been a 3-year absence. You had back-to-back years, and USC's got the last 3. But one of the things that caught me in the interview with Travis on the Sandcast was, and you guys are all back because that's what the goal is.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's our North Star goal. So it's something we're always shooting for. And it's something always that's in the back of our minds that's driving us. But this year we're really focusing, or I guess I will say I'm really focusing on staying present and just taking it game by game, because like that's all you can really do. I'm just looking forward to, obviously, the wins with my teammates, but also just spending time with my teammates and really enjoying it, because I know how fast it goes. So
Yeah. Well, let's go to your connection with collegebeachvb.com. Just recently released where the freshman of the year, the breakthrough player of the year, and the breakout team. Freshman of the year is Zoe Hansen of Washington, and then the breakout player, oh gosh, it's I lost it off the top of my head. Well, the breakout team is FIU.
Yes. And then breakout player is Lindsay Sparks.
There we go. Oh, I think it's because it's so obvious to me. Hey, to me, she's not a breakout player. She's already broken out, and she's just going to continue it on,
I know.
But what are your thoughts on the selections, and would your selections be any different, or who could be considered in that conversation for those 3 categories?
Okay, well, preseason freshman of the year, Zoe Henson, I think that's totally deserving. The first time I ever actually found out about her, we were playing against each other in I think it was a CBVA qualifier tournament. And I think we met in the semifinals, and I remember after the game, I was like, I need to introduce myself to this girl because she's amazing. I had no idea who she was, and she was literally so amazing. I think we were serving her partner the entire time, because we were like, keep the ball away from her as much as possible. Yeah, she is a competitor. I watched her again in the preseason in the Manhattan Beach tournament, and she's just an absolute baller, and is going to do great things for their program.
Oh, that's crazy. I just realized that she's from Cypress, California. I thought she was a Washington girl.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? I had never, I mean, again, I'm so much older, but I had never heard of her. So yeah, we'll hear of her now. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a consensus as far as the freshman player of the year on collegebeachvolleyball.com's poll with the committee. So the breakout player, I mean, like I said, Lindsay Sparks, I overlooked it because to me, it's like, that's not a breakout player. She's like rock solid all the way around, and she's been winning.
Well, yeah, Lindsay is, like you said, it does it makes sense because we know the player that she is. But it obviously hasn't been an easy route for her, and just what she has overcome is truly amazing. And it's been years since she's been able to play, and the amount of no's that she's heard is just crazy, that she was able to prove everyone wrong. And I think she definitely deserves this award. And she's an amazing girl, and she deserves it. And I'm just so excited for her. And I can't wait to see what she does for Cal Poly this year. So
Yeah. Well, watching her play at the Laguna Beach Open, I went to their qualifier match. Oh, that first point that she scored was a very emotional one, without a
oh,
doubt.
I bet. No, I was watching on my live stream. I wasn't able to be there, but yeah, I'm just so excited for her, and I know her family is so happy for her, and everyone that Lindsay has touched, I know they're super pumped up for her too. So that'll be
You're
great.
mentioning the how you're old. A funny story is I'm watching her match, and another one of the junior players' moms who's got a really good player. It's like, oh my gosh, Lindsay is her idol. I'm like, she's not that much older than your daughter.
Yeah, I know, that's so funny. I mean, of course, Lindsay, she's always been an absolute icon, so I'm not surprised.
Well, the team that's the breakout team of the year, Florida International University with a new coach. Um, Thoughts on FIU? Do you know any of the athletes? Because I know there's a good portion that are foreigners on that team.
Yeah, I personally don't know any of the players, but I mean, FIU continues to show up and cause trouble. And they're one of those teams that you can never take lightly because they will throw it back in your face. They're fierce competitors, and they have always just been a team that has shown up and done really, really well. So I'm really looking forward to their season. Obviously, I'm excited to see how they do as well.
Yeah, the one of the players I've been following along is internationally. She's been playing really well is Giada Bianchi, and who's Ali Pratizzi, transfer from Long Beach State, is now there. I'm like, this team, you sleep on this team, they're gonna get you.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't sleep on them. That's very bad.
Well, with that, who are some of the top athletes if you're talking to like an everyday schmo about collegiate beach volleyball and they wanted to say your top 5 athletes to watch out for during the season? Who would they be besides Jaden Whitmarsh?
Oh gosh. I have Isabel Reffel. Is that how you say
Yeah.
Reffel?
Oh, from LMU.
You. I was thinking about that today because she really impressed me in the preseason. I think again it was the Manhattan Beach tournament, but her and her partner just were amazing. And so she's definitely a player to look out for.
Are you
Um,
talking about the Manhattan Beach? You mean the fall?
yes.
Um, so I think it was Abby Thorup she's playing with.
Oh, yes. Okay.
There's a
Mhm.
Canadian, and I believe she is from Sweden.
Yes. Yes. So both of them, honestly, if I can just clump them together,
Yeah.
they were, I thought, a great pair in the preseason. So
Yeah.
both of them, definitely. And then as I mentioned before, I think Maddie Anderson, she's always going to be one of the best players to look out for. And then I said Haley Hamlet from TCU.
Hmm.
Uh, she was really impressive in Huntsville.
Hmm.
Uh, and I thought she has grown tremendously. I think her game has gotten just so much better, and she's so consistent. So she's definitely a player to look out for.
She's got to be one of the top lefties in the nation right now.
Yeah, her jump serve is crazy. Yeah, yeah, like passing her jump serve, it's just you better hope and pray you get it up. But yeah, so she was incredible. And then who was my other one? Oh, Ashley Pater.
Yeah. Oh, from USC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she was another freshman on the CBV or CBVB um list for the
Yep.
freshmen. And yeah, I think she is going to be, if not this year, for USC's upcoming years, she's going to be a huge impact for them.
She's a little fireball like a certain other person on the screen here.
Fireball smells fireball. Has
Yeah,
that
I watched her play in a few tournaments over the summer with Kennedy Coakley,
uh-huh.
and they were good,
Yeah,
really good.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the list goes on and on. Like, I think there are so many incredible athletes at every school that I wish we could all, go through the list completely. But I'm just excited for this year, and I'm excited for the people that you don't expect to
Yeah.
shine through. Those are always my favorite.
Yeah, well, it's one of the things that's been a very common theme each year is each team is getting better, deeper in their lineups, and it's going even beyond the top 15, whereas before is only a top 10 teams that had any really good talent, but it's
Yeah,
extending outward into these other D1 programs.
yeah. Mhm.
So let's see what duels you got your eyes on this coming weekend, as first serve is literally 3-4 days away at the time of our recording.
I know. I mean, obviously really focused on our tournament that we're going to. There are some great teams that are going there. So we play USC is our first match.
Oh, an
Which
easy one. Oh, good start for
yeah,
you guys, right?
yeah. So that will be really fun.
Yeah,
No energy at all in that one.
really good. That's right. I'm looking at the schedule, which has just been recently uploaded to collegebeachvb.com.
Shout out. Uh,
Wow.
and then we'll play Hawaii. Obviously, they're a great team as well. And then we got Stanford and LMU. So just an absolute stacked tournament. So yeah, that will be crazy.
And that's the Duke Hanamoko Classic, or is
Yes,
it the Outrigger? I always,
it's
I'm sure Outrigger's involved somehow, some way.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they are too. But yes.
So that's UCLA, Stanford, LMU, Hawaii, and USC.
Yes.
Am I missing a team here? It's only five.
Nope. I think that's just the five of them.
Because it's what's the format? You guys all play each other, and then there's a
Yeah.
bracket play in on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, so it's a 3-day tournament. Thursday, Friday is I guess you can call it maybe pool play, and then Saturday is like a depending on where everyone stands, there's like probably like a little bracket. Um so yeah, definitely a lot of matches. It's gonna be hot and probably windy, so we're excited to get out there and compete against some really amazing teams. So it'll be a good test to see where everyone is.
Well, it's a great place to end our episode. I know I said only be 15 to 20 minutes, but and I, how can I keep it at 15, 20 when I've seen you play and known you for that as long as I have, you know?
We just have so much to talk about.
I know. I guess our weekly podcasts are going to be 2 hours now, so instead of just the 30 minutes that are planned. Um,
Oh no.
But yeah, you're looking at Jaden Whitmarsh on screen, if you're listening, who is our fourth, not the final contributor to College Volleyball Weekly Beach Top 20, but just had to do a Just Jaden episode. Had to be a great team player on the team banquet on last time when we recorded, but we're excited to have you on this season. And I look forward to your results this weekend, but catching up because I think we'll be chatting next Tuesday, as a matter of fact.
All
So.
right. Well, thanks,
Jaden
Rob.
Whitmarsh, thank you so much. And I look forward to chatting again. Maybe I'll message you when you're in Hawaii and get some inside info from you.
All right, I'll be looking forward to that.
Thanks for listening to College Volleyball Weekly. Be sure to follow Rob Aspero at the Rob on the Mic on Instagram and at Rob on the Mic on Twitter.